Hi, everyone. This is Becky Wade, and welcome to my Facebook chat party. I'm really glad that you're joining me here tonight. I'm coming to you from my kitchen in Dallas, Texas. This is actually where I write, right here at this table. I write when the house is quiet, like it is at the moment, although it's usually not this quiet at this time of the day because my family has vacated the premises so that I can do this live Facebook video and then chat with you through the Facebook party. I don't know if you saw, but there should be 2 posts already on my Facebook author page. One of them is asking you who you would bring to this party if you could bring a celebrity guest. So I'd love for you to answer that question. And then the other one explains the rules of this party, how the evening will go, how the prizes will be chosen, and all of that good stuff. So you might want to take a minute just to familiarize yourself with that post so that you know exactly how the party is going to unfold. Okay, I am bringing as my celebrity guest Ryan Gosling, and I don't know that I even need to explain why. He's looking a little perturbed and unsure, like, what party is this and who are you? Ryan, it's a Facebook chat party and I'm an author and you're my date. So lucky you. All right, I also have with me tonight some paleo chocolate. Y'all, I was able to find paleo chocolate. I have to eat paleo for dietary and health reasons, and it was kind of sad to me that I couldn't find any sugar-free, dairy-free chocolate for a while there. But faith springs eternal, hope springs eternal, and I found some. So I have my paleo chocolate that I'll be munching on during the party. I also have, and I'm going to disappear for just a minute, but I'm still here. I also have my dog. He's here with me tonight. This is my writer buddy, Sam. And if you follow the Pinterest wars, then you know that he was a star of our most recent challenge, the photo challenge. He was very well behaved, and he's an excellent brainstorming partner and writing cheerleader. So he's here with myself and Ryan Gosling at the party. Okay, Sam, you can go back to sleep. I also have 3 books here. Then Came You is the prequel to my Bradford Sisters series. And then I have True to You, which came out a year ago, and this one was the first novel in the series. And then I have Falling for You, which is the one that just released, and the reason for the party tonight and why we're gathering, so that I can talk to you about it, but also so that I can get to know you better and ask you questions, and we can just have a fun time together, just laughing and giving out prizes and meeting other readers and writers. So I will be giving all 3 of these away at the end of the party. I'm going to be signing them and sending them to one of you. So that giveaway will remain open. All the other ones are only open for 30 minutes. So make sure that you comment within that 30-minute window in order to win prizes tonight. Okay. The 2 prizes that I'll be giving out during this Facebook Live video, during this portion of the party, are a $15 Starbucks card and a little personal library kit. Have you guys seen those? They come in a little box, and it's like everything you need to set up your own library, or for your kids to set up their own library. I will be giving both of those prizes away to some of you who ask me questions during this live video. So please type in your questions, and I will try to answer as many as I'm able during this time. Okay, I would also like to ask you a question. So the first one is, where do you live? Where are you coming from this evening? I'd love to know. It's kind of fun to see where all the different places that we have represented here. So just type it in and let me see. I'll put some of your responses on the screen if I see them come through. The other question I'd love to know is, have you read Falling for You? Have you read Falling for You yet? I realize it's very early because the book only came out 1 week ago. And so, you know, I know that books stay on my to-be-read pile a lot longer than 1 week, but I'd love to know if you have had a chance to read it. Let me know if you have. And let me put that one in the comment. Okay, have you read Falling for You? It's kind of cool that I can type these questions in and they show. Huh. Have you read Falling for You is my second question. And then I just have one. I'm curious to know this question. If you are someone who has read my books, I would really be fascinated to know how you first heard about them. So if you wouldn't mind typing an answer to that question in the comments, I'd be thrilled to know that. So how did you hear about my books? It's always interesting to me to just know how people found them and came upon them. Okay, let me see if I can. Several of you, oh, okay. So for example, Mary read the book as soon as it came out. Stephanie hasn't had a chance to yet. That's all right, Stephanie. Rebecca Millett, author, she's loving Willow and Corbin's story. She's at the tea room scene, which is adorable, and she's imagining Corbin there. Yeah, I had fun with that scene, Rebecca, because I really enjoyed putting such a masculine football player guy into a very girly tea room and seeing how he fared there. Okay, Elena says that she's waiting to read it until she goes on vacation. Yeah, you know, I always hope, Elena, that my books are vacation reads. Like I always envision that they might be the type of story that someone would like to read when they're on a trip or on a vacation. So I'm thrilled that you're saving it for vacation. Okay, let's see. Here's a good question from Irene. She's asking me, was anyone from Falling for You inspired by anyone you know in real life? No. You know, none of my characters are fully inspired by anyone I know in the real world, although I definitely will pick up and observe characteristics in people, personality traits and ways of speaking, ways of dressing, ways of styling your hair, just all kinds of details. I think every author has to be a good observer in order to craft real and lifelike characters. And so I definitely will kind of pick up details here and there from real life, and I try to jot them down and put them in my idea file. And then when I'm crafting a new character, I will go through that file and kind of maybe collect several different characteristics and create someone completely new. That's a great question. Thank you, Irene. Oh, here's something from my mom. My mom's here. Hi, Mom. She loved Corbin. Yeah, she's told me. She really loves Corbin. And she's read them all, so that's a nice endorsement. Thanks, Mom. Let's see where some of you are from. Colleen is coming to this chat party from Florida. We've got another Texan in the house. Hey, let's see if I can show that one. There you are. Hey, go Texas. Good to see you here, Deanna. Thank you for coming. Here's Robbie. She lives in Alabama. Okay, cool. Halfway between Birmingham and Atlanta. That's all right. I'm so glad you came to the party. You do not have to have read Falling for You, by the way, to participate in this party. In no way, shape, or form do you have to have read it. All of the questions pertain to Falling for You, but none of them are actually about the plot or the characters. They're all about things that you've already experienced in your life that might tie in some way to the story. Okay, we've got Carol from Memphis, Tennessee. That's cool. Glad to see someone from Tennessee here. Awesome. Oh, Iowa. Yes. Hi, Carrie. Welcome from Iowa. Okay, and then let's see if anybody's had a chance to say whether or not how they found my books. I'd love to know that one. Oh, from a giveaway. Okay, so Becca This is so interesting to know, Becca. So you heard about me from a giveaway. Wow, I'm glad to know that because I like to enter giveaways, but I'm never sure. I'm never sure, how many people might be finding me that way. Okay, let me see what other questions you guys have. I heard about them through friends. Okay, so this one is wonderful and encouraging because I really do think that word of mouth is the way that newish authors grow their audience. And I'm really grateful to those of you who've read the books and tell your friends about them, tell your book club, tell your library, because I wholeheartedly believe that word of mouth is the very best thing that any book can receive. So that's a really nice compliment. Thank you. Appreciate that. More people are saying that they heard about them from friends. Some people are saying that they found them at their library. And then Jessica White here is saying that she found me through a Facebook group. So that's another great way to find authors. If you're not already involved in some sort of readers Facebook group, that's a neat way to find new authors to try. All right. Oh, we have one person here from Minnesota, Sleepy Eye. What a cool sounding name. I may need to use that in a future novel. I love that. Oh, and it looks like Crissy. This is interesting, Crissy. I don't think that I knew this, did I? That you found my books because maybe you were on Amazon and you were looking for a Denise Hunter book and Amazon recommended me. Well, thank you, Amazon. I appreciate that. That's nice to know. All right, let me see. I have a couple other questions here. Stephanie Webb asked me a few days ago whether the plot comes to me first or my characters come to me first. So the answer is yes, both. Sometimes the character comes to me first. So in the case of My Stubborn Heart, which was my first novel for the Christian market, the thing that came to me first that I built that entire novel on was the hero, Matt Giroux. And now Ryan Gosling has given me this look like, I thought I was your date. Well, Ryan, Matt is also very special to me, as are all my other heroes. He came to me first. I envisioned him and his backstory and his heartbreak and all of that first. And I built the entire story around him. I built the heroine and the plot and the theme and everything else from there. In other cases, I do get an idea for the plot first. Like in the story of Meant to Be Mine, I envisioned the plot line first. I envisioned a hero and heroine and a secret baby, and then I figured out the characters that I wanted to put in place from there. Okay, and then Stacy Simmons asks, do you plot out your stories or write by the seat of your pants? So there are two different ways to write, and she's articulated them both very well. I'm a huge planner. I plan the whole book before I start writing. And then I start with a premise and two characters, and I write the rest by the seat of my pants. And then there's kind of like a hybrid between those two things. And that's what I am. I'm a hybrid. So I do research ahead of time. I do a lot of character work so I can get to know my hero and heroine and my secondary characters and my setting. And then once I have those things in mind, I jot down all of the plot points I can imagine. And sometimes it's kind of a short list. And then I begin. And inevitably, as I'm writing, more plot point ideas are coming to me. And I'm adding those into that list of plot points as I go. It's sort of like I heard an author one time describe it this way, that it's almost like mountains are rising out of the ocean. And at first you just see a few mountaintops, you see a few big scenes. But as those mountains continue to rise, you begin to see all the little things that connect those big mountaintops. And that's very much how I write. That's how I write my books. Okay, let's see if we have other good questions. Let's see. Deborah Clack asks, and I know Deborah, thank you for coming, Deborah. I just saw her last night at our writers group. Do you have a favorite scene from the book? You know, my favorite scenes, well, I always have two favorites. I absolutely love the scenes in which the characters have sort of this moment, this come to Jesus moment, and they have a spiritual like epiphany, or just a point where they've gone as far as they can on their own power and they meet God in a mighty way. Those scenes are the ones that make me cry, and some of the most powerful scenes in the book, in my opinion. So the scene at the end between Willow and God is one of my favorite scenes in Falling for You. Another favorite scene is the one at the very end of the novel, the last one before the epilogue, the happy ending, the happily ever after scene. I could read that one over and over. Those are two of my favorites. Okay, let's see what some of you guys are asking me lately. Continue to ask me questions and I'll kind of scroll through to see if I can find one that catches my eye. Okay, this is a good one. Kelly asks, do you cast your characters by finding pictures on Pinterest? I mostly imagine my characters in my own mind. I don't like to rely exclusively on a photograph that I find or on a real person as the inspiration for any one character. I feel like I can get a better handle on them and visualize them more powerfully if I'm relying on my imagination. They come to life more for me that way. However, I do go to Pinterest and I do find photographs of the setting. I do find photographs of people that somewhat resemble the character in my mind, or that have some characteristic that resembles that character. I'll go and pin clothing. I'll go and pin food. And I have a board, an inspiration board, where I pin all of these things as I'm writing. And then near the time a book releases, I move some of those pins to the board for that novel. So recently I did that for Falling for You, and I will definitely supply the link to Falling for You's board here at the end of the party. Okay. These are great questions. Thank you guys. I'll go through and I will answer questions later if I don't have a chance to get to them all. I like this one. We all need more come to Jesus moments in life. Amen. I agree with you. We do. They're good in life and they're good in fiction. All right, Renee asks, where did you get your desire to write? Have you always loved writing? I've always loved reading. From the time that I was a child, I was an avid reader, and I had no intention of becoming a writer. And then my husband and I moved to this little Caribbean island after we were married, and I couldn't work there because of work permit restrictions. And so I found myself with a lot of time on my hands and an imagination and a computer. And I thought, well, I guess I could try this. And for the next 4 years, I wrote and wrote and wrote 4 manuscripts, submitted them, and received nothing but rejections. But eventually, the tide turned, and I've just really fallen in love with writing. It's a passion of mine and kind of a surprise to me. It wasn't something that I got a degree in or something that I anticipated doing until that circumstance in my life. It was one of those things that the Lord just used a circumstance in my life to change my path in a way that was pretty impactful, you know, and it has really impacted everything that's come after. Okay, this is a cute question. Denise Bailey asks, let me see if I can, oops. Let me ask you guys something else here really quick. I'll say, post your questions, because we've got a few more minutes. So I'm hoping to answer just a couple more before I end this portion of the evening. So post any more questions you have for me. Denise Bailey asks, does your husband influence your writing? And, you know, my husband reads the novels when they come out. So he received Falling for You on his Kindle because he'd pre-ordered it the day that it came out a week ago. And he reads them on his Kindle. He's an avid Kindle reader. I'm a print reading girl. He's a Kindle guy. During the process of writing, he does influence them some, because I will go to him from time to time for brainstorming help. And I'll ask him, what could happen in this situation? And he'll help me come up with ideas. And a lot of times, you know, he's not a writer. he's a reader, which is great. A lot of times his ideas are not what I end up going with, but his ideas get me kind of like trotting down the right path that does bring me to the idea that I eventually use. So it's super helpful to brainstorm with him. And then there are times when I will ask him, is this what a guy would say? Is this what a guy would think? We've been married, it'll be 25 years this summer. So I feel like I can put myself in my male character's shoes and get in their heads to some degree, but of course I can always do better at that. And so I'm always going to him for advice and kind of his suggestions on that piece. Because I want my heroes to feel authentic and real. And I want the same for my heroines, but because I'm female, it's harder to make those guys read as very authentic. But in a romance, they really need to for the romance to work. And so that's something I'm constantly striving towards. Catherine asks, are any of your kids interested in writing? You know, my littlest daughter, she's 9, she's very creative and she will make little books with stories in them. So it could happen. I mean, she's very imaginative. Right now, she enjoys being on the stage and singing and dancing more than she likes, you know, writing stories, but maybe. All right, Rachel McDaniel asks, what research did you have to do for Falling for You? Well, I always read at least 1 or 2 nonfiction books written by people that have done the career of my character. And so I read 2 biographies by professional models to get a handle on the whole world of modeling and how that might impact Willow's character, even though she is not modeling during the course of the story. During the course of the story, she's running her mother's bed and breakfast. But I did read 2 nonfiction biographies about models, and then I read a biography about a football player so that I could maybe get into Corbin's mind a little bit better and understand what he'd been through. And then along the way, I did quite a bit of research into the mystery. So there's this whole mystery of this missing woman in Falling for You. And I spent days reading accounts of missing people and all sorts of accounts. And that was really informative. So that helps me get a grip on how would somebody even go about searching for a missing woman who's been missing for decades? And it gave me all sorts of ideas. Real life stories are a great source of wonderful inspiration, for sure. Okay, I think I might take just a couple more questions. Victoria asks, was Falling for You, will it be an Audible book? Thank you for asking that. I am a huge fan of audiobooks, a huge fan. I always have one going. I listen to it in the car after I've dropped off my kids. And I have had quite a few readers ask me the same question. When and if Falling for You will be an audiobook? And the answer is yes, it will be an audiobook. And the same narrator that narrated True to You will be narrating Falling for You. So if you really like that narrator, that's great news because she's also doing Falling for You. And I love that there's the continuity there for the series' sake. However, I don't know exactly when it will release, unfortunately. Once the rights are sold to the audiobook producer, that is in their court. That ball is in their court. And usually they release it very close to the print and ebook release date. But I'm not sure. I don't know. I wish I could answer that for you. All right, Summer asks, what else do you like to do other than write? Well, I like to read and I like to do yoga. I love to go out to restaurants for meals. I'm really a big fan of traveling. We will be going to Europe actually this summer. And I haven't been there since I was like 13 or 14 years old. We're taking our kids because of our anniversary. And so I'm super excited and looking forward to that trip. I really enjoy movies and TV shows and walking my neighborhood. I will enjoy all of those things. Jackie asks, what helps you when you find yourself having writer's block? You know, I kind of force myself through writer's block, Jackie. I don't know if that's the best approach or not, But I set goals for myself, and I have a certain number of pages I need to be writing every week, and thus a certain number of pages I need to be writing every day. And so I have to just keep pushing forward. Even if it's not, I feel like it's not working and I'm not clicking with the characters, my process is just to continue forward and just trust that the Lord will show me how to fix it later. Because I'm more of a rewriter, really, than I am a rough draft writer. And so inevitably, once I finish the rough draft and I've read it through, it's rough. But I begin to see a glimmer of how I can fix it. So I just trust that when the time comes to know how to fix it and how to rewrite it, I'll be able to figure it out. So I just push through writer's block. I mean, sometimes it's not easy and I'm not feeling it on certain days when I'm writing. I kind of have to force myself to do it like homework. Most of the time that's not the case, but sometimes it is. And it's just where the rubber meets the road. I just make it happen. Okay, I'm going to name 2 winners from tonight's party. What I will do is I will put the names of those 2 winners in the Facebook comments for this video. And they will be receiving a $15 Starbucks card. I think I already mentioned this, and a personal library kit. So 2 of you who interacted with me on this video will be receiving those 2 prizes, and I will put your names in the comments. So thank you so much for joining me here and interacting with me through this video. This was my first time to use this particular platform, and it really worked great. I'm enjoying it a lot. So thank you very much for coming. And the party is not over. For the next hour, I will be posting questions for you and giving away the majority of the prizes. So be sure to stick around and just continue to press refresh on your browser so that you can see the newest content appear. All right. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.